To me, living this life isn't about working until you're like 60 and retiring with a fancy car. To me, this life is about becoming the person that you dreamed about as a kid. Okay, I don't know if this is just something I did because I'm just weird, but when I was a kid, whenever I was reading a book or watching a movie, I would always picture myself as the hero, as the main character in whatever I was reading or watching. And not because I thought I was special, but because I wanted to be. I wanted to feel useful and feel special, so I daydreamed that I was that main character going on those quests in the book. If you dreamed about becoming like one of those heroes, those main characters, there's no reason not to try. That might sound really cringe. I'm not saying like role play. I'm saying like actually become and embody the virtues of your favorite characters. All those virtues of strength, discipline, and valor. Isn't that the kind of person we all secretly want to become? So for this video, I want to focus specifically on kings, because to me, they were the ones that carried the whole medieval generation. I mean, they had to wake up every day and make sure an entire kingdom didn't collapse. So this video is part one of a long series on this channel where I'm gonna go in depth into like how to actually live a life that you're proud of, how to become like these characters IRL. And I don't want this video to be 2 hours long, so it's more of a general overview, but if you're interested in that, join the Discord and subscribe because I'm gonna be going really in depth. At the end of this video, I'll give you 3 really simple daily things you can do to become more like these ancient kings. But first, we have to break some myths. Because believe it or not, most of the stuff you believe about ancient life is probably wrong. Myth 1, discipline was easier back then. We all know those guys that like say, oh, if only I was born 1,000 years ago, I wouldn't be like fat, lazy, or failing school, right? I'm just gonna be honest, that's all bullshit. Discipline was not easier back then. It's just that the people had no choice. If they weren't disciplined, they would just die on the battlefield because they haven't trained hard enough. The difference is that you have a choice. So in a weird way, if you're disciplined right now, that's actually more impressive than the ancient soldiers back then that trained really hard. So you have a choice. And if you don't choose discipline, well, you won't die on the field of battle. But when you do die eventually, you risk realizing that you didn't really live up to any of your full potential. Myth 2. Glory only comes from actual swords and battles, so I can't really do anything in the modern day. Okay, it might have been the case back then that glory actually did only come from battles, but that was the meta back then. The new meta has changed and evolved, but the principles are the same. There are things in the modern day that you can do that require just as much discipline as a king would need to go out into the battlefield. The only problem is they don't look as cool. And for some reason, humans are wired to like think in terms of how epic something is, in terms of how cool it looks when deciding what they want to do. And I mean, I guess I'm also like that because I always compared myself to these heroes that were doing epic quests. But the truth is, you can do these epic quests in your day-to-day lives. For example, you can clean the dishes for once in your life to help your mom. That might not sound epic, but it's an act of discipline. And thus, it's an act that makes you a stronger and better man or woman. When we watch movies, we picture ourselves on the screens in like the armor of the knight doing these cool things. We don't picture ourselves doing cool things to help our mom every day. That's because we all want to feel needed. And it feels like we can't do that unless we have the armor and the sword and we're riding out onto the battlefield. So how do we actually fix this? The answer here is really simple. It's purpose. Myth 3. There is no cool modern day purpose to pursue. We can't run a kingdom. Like I already said, we don't view these disciplined things that we can do today as cool, but low-key, I don't think kings viewed running a kingdom as cool either. It's just a thing that they did. It's just looking back that we think it's cool, but in the moment, they just thought it was just a disciplined thing that they had to do. So approach all of your everyday tasks just like that. Maybe in 1,000 years, someone's gonna say, wow, this guy could do the dishes? That's so cool because now we have like robots that do everything for us. I don't know. Even if there is no cool purpose, that doesn't matter. The thing that matters is that we have a purpose. It's so important, in fact, that people actually become addicted to it, but not in the way you think. You know this thing called video games? The reason they are so addicting is because they give us everything we've ever wanted. They give us a brotherhood, they give us a purpose, because we're like leading like an army into battle. It makes us feel needed and it makes us feel strong, because it's so much easier to progress in video games than in real life. We crave these things video games give us, but we're too undisciplined to apply the same principles to our life. So we use the excuse that we would only be disciplined in the medieval world, where video games were an easy source of dopamine. But in reality, if we're disciplined right now, that's more impressive. So here are the basic actions. You want glory in a battle? Go and defeat your opponents in a debate tournament or a chess tournament. Do you want brotherhood? Go and join a club or go with your friends and go do some cool things. Like, you don't have to actually do anything medieval unless you want to, because like my friends and I, we actually started blacksmithing, which is pretty funny, but you can literally do anything you want. Want simplicity like the ancient kings? Literally just don't open social media. Like, don't open that cancer and you're literally good. Doing all of these things won't make you seem cool, but if you're becoming more like an ancient king, if you're becoming more disciplined, why would you care if anybody thinks it's cool? Like, you should think it's cool just because of the man you're becoming. Every successful war campaign ended with the king coming back and ruling over his kingdom, doing the small menial tasks. So if these great ancient men did these small tasks that they probably didn't want to do, why should you be any different? Virtue lies in these small everyday actions, because nobody loves a conqueror. They love a great ruler. And a great ruler comes from doing these small things to build your discipline. So finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the simple framework I live by every single day, and that you can live by to guarantee that you become more disciplined. First, pick one uncomfortable thing and conquer it daily. It can be literally as simple as doing the dishes when your mom asks you to instead of going up and playing video games. Choose one thing that day, and if you succeed in it, you can just say your whole day is a success. Step 2. Build your brotherhood, which is basically stupid slang for be more social. Like, go outside more, talk to your friends, make new friends, and go do cool stuff with your friends. Because if you stay inside all day, no matter what you do inside, you're going to be more depressed than if you went out with other people. Step 3, reject comfort when it tries to seduce you, because ancient kings didn't bow to pleasure. Choose one thing that you usually do, like maybe eating junk food, and basically just say, like, I don't do that anymore. Okay, I hope this video made sense, wasn't too long, and I'm not trying to tell you to dress up in armor and start speaking weird English. I hope that was obvious, but remember how I said that I pretended to be the main character back when I was a kid? Now, I just try and be the main character. That was not tough. Okay, go do some push-ups, Jesus Christ.